So we've been hearing about academia and industry coming together. Well, how do multi-stakeholder meetings actually work? Professor Gilles Vassal is going to tell us more about it. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. Maybe I should check the remote to push the slide. That will be better. You are all aware there is an ongoing revision process of the European pharmaceutical package. The directive and the regulation will include the measures concerning pediatric and orphan medicine development, obligations, incentives, and rewards. There are some important items in this proposal. The first one is unmet medical needs, very central. How do we define unmet needs? Second, mechanism of action pediatric investigation plan, we will be looking at how a drug works to decide whether or not it is relevant for pediatric medicine development, rather than only the condition in adult, does it exist, yes or no, in children. But also stepwise pediatric investigation plan, something that I've been looking at over the last years, which is life cycle management of pediatric investigation plan. But in addition, there is an article, Article 95, which is proposing to set up the capability to prioritize clinical study of medicine through a multi-stakeholder process. And this is important because the word prioritization is now in the proposed regulation that will be revised and voted in a few years from now. And this is the concept that we have developed over the last years. What is a multi-stakeholder meeting? It's a meeting addressing either a disease, a pediatric disease, or a class of compounds where we look at what is sharing the publicly available information and advanced learning on science, defining the unmet medical needs in this pediatric disease, critical review and sharing of the developments at the moment of the medicine that would be relevant to address these needs, and also proposing a strategy, which is very much how in a given disease, addressing the needs with what is being developed in a better way than it has been done so far. And the key element is that around the table we have all stakeholders, clinicians and academics and researchers, patients and parents who are really a voice in this meeting, the pharmaceutical companies, the regulators from the European Medicine Agency, the Food and Drug Administration, and hopefully very next, the HTA body representative. And each of these are published in public review. And this is the goal really to share all the information and facilitate further prioritization. We started in oncology in 2017. This is Accelerate, and you can see that we've done 14 of this multi-stakeholder meeting. The most recent one was 2 weeks ago at the European Medicine Agency, very close to this place in Amsterdam, and we were discussing GD2 therapies. Because these pediatric strategy forum have been developed in collaboration with the European Medicine Agency and participation of the Food and Drug Administration. And all of them have been published. And these documents are important because they can be used further when there are interactions between a pharmaceutical company and the regulatory body to set the scene of the discussion of one compound in this context. In C4C, there was a task in Work Package 4 to experiment whether this multi-stakeholder meeting would be relevant and interesting outside of oncology. And we did 5 of them: pediatric inflammatory bowel disease, atopic dermatitis, medical devices in type 1 diabetes in children, perinatal asphyxia, and the most recent one last March was irritability. And as you can see, these were about more than 600 participants from academia, industry, regulators, and patient representatives. And the voice of the patient and the parents are extremely important. And they are not at the end of the meeting, but they are at the very beginning where we discussed what are the unmet needs. And these are the people, because C4C, this is also people. people from all stakeholders, learning to work together and defining the value of really working together. And these are all the experts from academia, from advocacy, from industry, and from regulatory bodies who have been working on building these stakeholder meetings. They have published, the first one is published, the other one a little bit late, but will be published, really to show that this is of value and can be used further to support further development in these different diseases. The next one, and the final one, because clearly initially we were asked to do 4, but then we did 5, and now we are up to 6. That will be in April 2025. We will discuss chronic kidney disease, and the best rationale for doing this is this publication saying SGLT2 inhibitors approved for adults and cats, but not for children with chronic kidney disease. This is a publication in 2024, and we have already set up the program committee with Franz Schaffer, who is a well-known pediatric nephrologist, who is really part of the ERN-ERCnet, and who have been really pushing for this chronic kidney disease, which will be the last and ultimate C4C stakeholder meeting. And we have a program committee with academia, with industry, with Gunther Egger from the European Medicine Agency, Marta Donoghue from FDA, patient representative, and industry. The good news is that it is fully supported by the European Medicine Agency. In February 2023, they published the report, or their initiative started in 2020, to improve the implementation of the pediatric regulation. And this is what they called boosting the development of medicine for children. And if you look at this document, you will see that the first action to identify the unmet medical needs is very much supported by all the Accelerate Pediatric Oncology Multistakeholder Meeting and the C4C Multistakeholder Meeting, which is clearly, from a regulatory perspective, there is a real value on this in this initiative. So in conclusion, the regulation is going to change, hopefully for a more science-driven and patient-centric regulation, where the issue of making better choice will be there and defining the unmet needs. We demonstrated in oncology and outside of oncology that there is a feasibility and the value of multi-stakeholder meeting discussion to support this science-based and patient-centric pediatric development and to facilitate prioritization. So I would like to thank the Permanent Program Committee, Ilya, Catherine, Stephanie, Maria, Kuhn, and of course Andrea, for all the work over the last 6 years? Oh yeah, it was 6 years. And all the experts, parents, patient, industry, regulatory representative who participate to the MSM. These are tools where clearly all together we can demonstrate the value of looking at what are the needs and best developing the strategy for children, hopefully in a better facilitating legal environment. Thank you.
Thank you.